African religions and Christianity. When we go back in time to the beliefs of African peoples, we see that there was a god who was not represented because he had no physical resemblance. This god was transcendent and immanent. In historical accounts, there was a hierarchy of spirits, the so-called ancestral spirits. These ancestral spirits could help or punish. They had cults and priests. Some of the spirits were linked to the environment, and the environments were receptacles for these spirits who were called gods. With tribal wars, the dominated were usually forced to accept the divinity of the dominator's spirits. This led African religion to adapt to the community to which they belonged. Thus, in the early days of African religion, deities linked to sorcery and witchcraft were used to act destructively. With the adaptive characteristic, these deities are modified over time to change in the best way for the community. With this principle, African-based religions have no problems with the community or the people who follow them, as they tend to adapt to the community and the people. Not having a book or documents that fix the religion, they can be modified according to the tastes of the communities. In contrast, Christianity, in its most comprehensive system, is based on ancient documents, in Hebrew or Greek, which generate principles of immutability, unchangeable norms, seeking to alter the community to the historical foundation of the religion. Whereas the historical concepts of African religions tend to alter the foundation of communities. One of the primary parameters of the Christian religion is linked to a biblical verse that says, "You shall have no other gods before me." In this way, any religion that has another god is considered wrong. In the historical African concept, however, the gods are gradually added to the religious culture. At this point, we can analyze two concepts, the first being that society in general tends to be transformed. In other words, thoughts that were previously condemned can now be released, and thoughts that were previously released can now be condemned. In religion based on the African concept, it is able to adapt to these transformations because it is not fixed to an immutable foundation. In the Christian concept, on the other hand, the foundations cannot be changed, even if society changes. And so society manages mechanisms to go against so-called fundamentalist religions. While a religion that adapts to society is more accepted by society, the belief itself loses its rational meaning. The idea of the existence of divinity is the basic characteristic that divinity determines ways for beings to follow a path beyond human knowledge. But if divinity adapts to social systems, the opposite happens. Divinity has to learn the human way. So what we have is that in religions that adapt to the individual, we have anthropocentrism as domination, and a theocentrism that is merely a facade. A good read of history, and we can see that society, imbued with its dominant powers, ends up subjugating, imprisoning, or killing people who follow their religion, if it goes against the dominant social system. So, when people are sentenced to prison or reduced freedom because they think differently from others, then we have the concept of a biased dominant society. Notably, when thinking differently is a factor in physical condemnation, that society no longer has free thought, but is moving towards an obligation to think in a way that is institutionalized by the dominant force. Hello, our video has ended, but you will find much more news on our YouTube channel, Busca de Verdade, and on our website reformadoresdesod.com. News and videos and texts with various tips on health, historical themes, archaeological, educational, principles and virtues, mathematics and physics, geography and science, methodologies, and much more. Join our channel and our website and you will see millions of topics covered there. Do not waste time. Knowledge is power. We wait for you there. Until later.